Hello, today we're having a look at a new demo for the Amiga, and it's a beat 'em up called Metro Siege. Now this has been knocking about for a few years, but the public demo has only just gone live. My mate Steve aka Adisneakerfreak put me onto this, so shout out to him, and link to his channel is down below. A link to download this demo is also linked below, and there are several versions available depending on what hardware you're using. This demo may look very similar to the footage you've seen over the past couple of years, and the coder Alex Brown tells me that this was a deliberate choice, I assume to avoid spoiling any more of the game. But he assures me that the engine has come on a long way since the early days of Metro Siege footage appearing online. Metro Siege is a three-way collaboration between Enable Software, responsible for software development, Pixel Glass doing audio and graphics, and Bitbeam Canon doing the art direction and graphics. You may have heard of Bitbeam Canon, who are also developing Demon Claw alongside Neofid Studios. All three are collaborating on game design. Alex of Enable Software also said that the demo is missing a lot of features and content from the main game, so this demo is not representative of the final product. It supports over 60 colours on screen at 50 frames per second and features multi-layer parallax. What does that mean? Well, it means that Metro Siege looks jolly nice indeed and plays very smoothly. The colours are vibrant, the backgrounds are very well drawn, and it's clear that a lot of care has gone into them, and there's plenty of the promised parallax scrolling. The sprites are equally well done. I've seen some complaints about the animations being a bit floaty, but I didn't think this was true at all when playing it. As Amiga brawlers go, this is possibly the best I've played. If I had only one gripe about the visuals, it's these annoying telegraph poles in the foreground on the first stage. They add some parallax, sure, but only serve to get in the way of the action. The demo features 3 stages: city, streets, metro or subway station, and then the train itself. At the end of the first stage you face off against a boss, which is a hilariously stereotypical American corrupt cop called Bob Robert, complete with box of donuts. After defeating him, you pursue him through the subsequent 2 stages, and then the demo ends when you confront him on the train. From the main menu you can choose which of the 3 levels to start on, and then select either 1 or 2 player mode. Only 2 playable characters are available, Alex and Kim. A third character is greyed out. Alex is tougher and more durable, whereas Kim is more agile and has better defense. The 4 stats for each character are displayed next to them. I even love the presentation of the menu and select screens. The character portraits look superb, and the chunky gold font here is reminiscent of other 16-bit brawlers like Streets of Rage. Similarly, the in-game dialogue font looks very clean and arcadey. In fact, the whole game has a very arcade-like presentation, but somehow manages to retain that Amiga feel. The sprites especially just look like they belong on Amiga, like a more detailed version of characters from Body Blows, for example. The music is very Amiga too, with that signature Amiga sound. Even though it's a new game, playing it made me feel nostalgic just because of the Amiga's distinct sound. The theme is quite unoriginal when it comes to a beat 'em up. It's very similar to Final Fight, but it's like porn. Nobody comes to a beat 'em up for the intricate plot. Now, where Metro Siege departs from being just another beat 'em up is in the complexity of its moveset and corresponding controls. As it's an Amiga game, it's designed for a 2-button setup, but there are just so many moves for a 2-button setup that it's actually quite overwhelming and took me a good while to get to grips with the controls. What you're rewarded with after learning them though is a quite complex set of moves that suit all situations. This elevates Metro Siege from mere button bashing mayhem to a more strategic brawler. Okay, so let's look at the moves. Moves differ between characters, but the controls are the same. Alex is unarmed, Kim has these shock battens attached to her arms. I much preferred Kim overall, as her increased agility was really useful. The 2 buttons at your disposal are attack and jump, that's it, but those 2 buttons allow for myriad combinations when combined with directional inputs. Jump then attack performs a jump kick, jump and then press jump again to perform what they call a jump stunner. Pressing attack does a jab attack, and pressing this repeatedly does a combo. Hold attack and back to block. Doing this just before a hit can trigger a counter. To pick up items like food for health, hold attack and tap down. Worth mentioning here that you can walk back on yourself in this game, unlike most beat 'em ups where the screen moves with you and prevents you from backtracking. Really useful for picking up items that drop out of view. I really like that you can do this. Tapping forward twice hops forward, and hold attack and press back twice to hop backwards. The latter is quite hard to get at first, but proves really useful. If you hop forward and press attack, you'll do a strong attack called a smasher, similar to Streets of Rage's dash attacks. Hold attack and tap forward to grab. I couldn't do this with Kim, only Alex, so I'm not sure if Kim just can't do them. Maybe because she has the battens attached. This is the one area in which I found Kim to be the inferior character. To be honest, I prefer the traditional beat 'em up mechanic for grabbing enemies, whereby you just simply walk into them. Pressing forward while holding attack was quite fiddly to get to grips with and kind of breaks up the flow of a fight. Once an enemy is grabbed, you have a few options for attack. One is just to bash attack, which knees them. Hold down and press attack to do a grab slam, and hold left or right and press attack for a shoulder throw. Once an enemy is down, you can attack them, press down and attack to kick them, which is called a no mercy attack. This is actually pretty powerful. You can also jump over them and press down twice quickly to do an air drop, which is basically a knee drop. Quite hard to get right as you have to get the positioning just right, and missing results in you getting stunned. Now, if you're knocked to the ground yourself, you can tap up or down twice quickly to roll, or press attack to get back up. If you get surrounded, you can press both jump and attack together to do what's called a desperation move. This is like the special moves in Streets of Rage 2, they're extremely powerful, but take some of the little blue bar below your health bar so you can't spam it. The blue bar is replenished by hitting enemies. Alex's desperation move is reminiscent of Guile's flash kick in Street Fighter, and Kim spins around 360, electrifying enemies with her shock battens. Hold attack and press up to attack an enemy behind you, and hold attack and press down for what they call a leg sweep, which is more of a low kick than a leg sweep. There are also a couple of variations of the flying kick and leg sweep if performed while hopping forward, resulting in a flying jump kick or sliding leg sweep. So that's all the controls. Like I said, a lot to learn there, but you do get to grips with it all in time. Really enjoyable to play. The music is pretty good, and more importantly for a beat 'em up, the sound effects are nice and weighty. Hit detection isn't as good as some arcade or console beat 'em ups from the 16-bit era, but it's certainly good enough and decent for an Amiga brawler. I realise this demo is an early build and not representative of the final game, but there are some things that I would love to see in the finished game. One would be weapons. At the moment some enemies have bats, but when dropped they just disappear. It would be great to collect and use them. Another thing is the lack of enemy variety. It didn't feel repetitive when playing it, but I'd imagine that it would if playing the entire game with just wave after wave of these punks. I realise memory limitations mean that a lot of the sprites have to have similar elements, and to be fair the enemies are quite varied in appearance, but their moves aren't yet varied enough. It would be good to see some more unique enemies with different patterns. Love the boss though, and looking forward to seeing more of them. The demo is pretty meaty with 3 stages, and it's certainly enough to get me excited for the game. Alex tells me that there's no timeline in place for release as there are several parties involved, and this is a side project for everyone, but he did say that the ultimate goal is to have a physical Amiga release, and I'll be the first in line to order a copy for my Amiga when it becomes available. I'm very impressed with this so far, definitely one to watch. I'll play a few uninterrupted gameplay clips now. Do let me know in the comments what you think of Metro Siege so far. Thanks for watching.